During ventilation operations on a steep pitched roof, it is important to complete an in-depth size-up and know the current location of the fire. This is necessary because the placement of the ground ladder will be closer to the main fire location, and it may take longer to get the roof ladder in place. The lead hook is the first team member to the roof and sounds the pitched roof near the ground ladder and on both sides of the roof ladder. Be sure to provide enough room for the entire ventilation team to enter onto the roof ladder. The lead hook calls for a smoke indicator hole on the fire side of the roof ladder approximately 4 feet up from the bearing wall. The lead saw cuts a smoke indicator hole and the lead hook clears the smoke indicator hole. The ventilation team reads the smoke conditions coming from the smoke indicator hole and proceeds toward the ridge if conditions allow. If the conditions allow, the ventilation team will advance up the roof ladder. The lead hook continues to sound on both sides of the roof ladder until reaching the ridge. The company officer remains near the location of the roof ladder and ground ladder to watch overall roof conditions, evaluate the smoke indicator holes continuously, and watch the ventilation progress. At this point, the lead hook and the saw operator need to change tools in order to complete the remaining tasks. This makes the lead hook become the new lead saw operator due to space limitations and footing concerns on the roof. After the tools have been exchanged, the saw operator cuts a smoke indicator hole as close to the ridge as possible, and the hole is cleared with the rubbish hook handle. After the smoke indicator hole is evaluated, the ventilation team prepares to cut an offensive heat hole using the 5-cut center rafter louver method. The hook then provides a foothold by using a pickhead axe or the fork end of the rubbish hook. This will provide the saw operator with more secure footing. The saw operator then steps out onto the roof decking near the provided foothold, being backed up with a handhold by the second ventilation team member. The saw operator reaches out and plunges the chainsaw into the roof decking just below the smoke indicator hole and approximately 3 feet from the ladder beam. The 5-cut center rafter louver method is performed using the ladder and provided foothold. It is important while cutting the number 4 cut, the operator only cuts to the rafter and then steps back onto the ladder to finish the number 4 cut. After finishing all 5 cuts, the tool that was used to create the foothold is removed from the roof decking. The saw and the hook are exchanged once again, so that the heat hole can be louvered by the highest ventilation team member on the roof. This completes all 5 cuts and creates a louver resting on the center rafter approximately 4 feet by 4 feet. Once the offensive heat hole is complete, the lead hook louvers the heat hole, pushing down on the closest side to direct the smoke, heat, and fire away from the ventilation team members. The ventilation team returns to the ground ladder and returns to the ground, taking all the tools and roof ladder with them. If the heat hole is pressurized or being overrun by fire, the ventilation team should consider dropping back to a safe location and put in an additional offensive heat hole. If at any time during this offensive approach method the ventilation team or the company officer determines the conditions are too dangerous to continue, the ventilation team should stop and retreat to the ground immediately.